Chief Ezel welcomed home at the airport earlier this week by the baseball team he coaches. And tonight, Sydney is back home in Missouri.
I was just so shocked that my donor was someone that had never even met me, but I'm so grateful for him. He literally gave me my life back.
Sydney and her entire family enjoying a belated Christmas, celebrating her new, priceless gift.
It's a little bit of pain for the person that's donating, but man, the smile on Sydney's face made it more than worth it to me.
That fire chief going above and beyond. Thanks so much for watching tonight. I'm Wade Johnson. For David and all of us here, have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Meteorologist Pete Caggiano, weeknights on KITV4 Island News.
On KITV4 Island News tonight, illegal aerial fireworks on New Year's Eve. Some people are okay with it, others believe it's out of control.
Unfortunately, when there's a demand for it, people will find a way to bring it in.
The U.S. airstrike in Baghdad yesterday, killing Iran's top military leader, affects the day after being felt right here at home.
If anything, they threw a little bit of a stick and we hit them with a bomb.
After last week's deadly Tor helicopter crash on Kauai, Hawaii U.S. Representative Ed Case ripped the industry. Some are fighting back.
The industry has really grown and matured.
Hey, put your hands out of your pocket. Get down.
A fugitive on the run from HPD, caught hopping from roof to roof in Makaha.
I literally thought there was chickens on my rooftop. Come to find out it was actually the police and the SWAT team.
And the suspect has a long rap sheet.
Now, from Honolulu, for all of Hawaii, this is KITV4 Island News.
Between December 1st, 2019 and January 2nd of 2020, there were more than 2,000 fireworks-related calls to the Honolulu Police Department. Good evening, I'm Mika Miyashima.
And I'm Tom George in for Brenson Awat tonight. Compared to this time a year ago, that number actually dropped by about 300.
But the number of citations issued went up. Now, with the numbers released today, KITV4's TJ Horgan joins us live in studio. And TJ, Oahu got quite a show the other night.
Mika, Tom, do you ever feel like a plastic bag floating through the wind, wanting to start again? Well, New Year's Eve on Oahu looked like it could have been cover art for Katy Perry's song Firework. HPD reports 96 citations issued compared to 76 a year ago, as well as 3 arrests, the same count from a year ago.
Part of it is an acceptance of even some fireworks that are illegal as well.
From port to port, backyard to backyard, Oahu's New Year's Eve display of pyrotechnics was as electric as ever. HPD Assistant Chief Sean Naito believes it could be attributed to the aloha spirit.
People generally get along with their neighbors. People live together, and the aloha spirit, they don't want to upset anybody or get anybody mad. So part of it is just basically a willingness, either one to not want to report their friends, families, or neighbors, or even just being accepting of the practice of fireworks in general.
He claims indifference can have crippling effects.
Potential for injury, the potential for property damage, as well as people with respiratory and health issues, as well as especially our combat veterans with PTSD.
According to the American Pyrotechnics Association, in 2017, Americans lit almost 1 pound of fireworks for every person in the country.
But definitely a lot of them we suspect being imported and being brought in illegally.
In Hawaii, HPD pins the illegal aerial blasts on shipments.
These illegal fireworks are coming throughout the year. We've been getting information that they actually start receiving the fireworks early in the year.
Enforcement of these shipments relies on tips and leads, but the spark of illegal fireworks on Oahu is far from being diffused.
Unfortunately, when there's a demand for it, people will find a way to bring it in.
Assistant Chief told me all of 96 people cited will be forced to appear in criminal court, and if they're under the age of 18, they need to be accompanied by a parent or guardian. Live in studio, TJ Horgan, KITV4 Island News.
Thanks, TJ. The man arrested in a bizarre police chase in Makaha yesterday has 4 previous convictions.
Come down, bro. Hey, get your hands out of your pocket. Get down. Come down.
Oh my God.
Alex Ann Isaacs tells KITV4 she was inside her mother's house near Kilauea Street and heard the scuffling on the roof. Now, she thought it was the neighbor's chickens or stray cats, but according to police, it was 28-year-old Stephen Boder trying to evade arrest for a probation revocation warrant. And during the chase, police report Boder assaulted an officer. He's behind bars on suspicion of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer, 3 contempt warrants, and the probation revocation warrant. Boder's criminal history shows 2 convictions for assault.
Turning now to the Big Island, Hawaii Island police are still looking for a man who escaped from prison back in October. 34-year-old Bryce Dustin Feary was last seen back on October 1st at the Halenani Correctional Facility. He never returned from his work furlough. Feary is described as 5 feet 11 inches tall, and he weighs around 170 pounds. He had short brown hair and hazel eyes. Now, he also has a green pyramid tattoo, a green cross on his left calf, and tattoos on his right upper arm. Big Island police are also looking for these men, 26-year-old Dwayne Corey Wallace and 25-year-old Ronson Harley Carvalho, both from Puna. They're wanted for questioning in connection with a criminal investigation. Anyone with any information on their whereabouts, you're asked to call police.
New tonight, the trial for a woman accused of killing a 6-year-old boy on the Big Island on Halloween Day in 2018 is moving forward. The Hawaii Tribune-Herald reports 3 mental health experts determined Ku'uipo Nihipali is fit to stand trial. Ashley Nihipali was also charged. The couple's accused of abusing Mazing Kaniela Nihipali Moniz for months before a family member took him to the hospital unconscious. He later died, and the medical examiner ruled his death homicide. The trial is expected to start in May.
Well, Maui experienced its first traffic death of the year. 57-year-old Lisa Salmon was killed while crossing Lahaina Luna Road in Lahaina around 8 o'clock last night. A 19-year-old woman driving an SUV was making a left turn and didn't see Salmon. Salmon died at the scene. Police do not believe speed, drugs, or alcohol were involved.
And also on Maui, a hiker who fell off a cliff in bamboo forest yesterday was rescued this morning. The 27-year-old woman from San Francisco fell 25 feet, injuring her left hip, arm, and lower back, and leaving her unable to walk. Rescue crews couldn't hike in to get her because heavy rain flooded the stream, and they couldn't use a helicopter because of the weather. When it did clear up this morning, she was airlifted out with 2 other hikers. We're taking a live look outside tonight, seeing some clouds over the Ko'olaus.
Yeah, KTV4's meteorologist Pete Caggiano has got to look at our first forecast. You know, the mountains look really pretty when it's been raining, but the question is, are we going to see more of those trade showers?
Yeah, we'll see those trade showers pick up tonight. So not as much right now. We've had a few areas of rain, but let's take a look at the radar. It's mostly, as you saw there, on the mountain areas here into the South Shore. Not much. We'll take you out to the east side. That's where we've had a couple scattered showers. In fact, had some light to moderate rain just roll through Hawaii Kai. We'll take you out to Hawaii Kai. You can see the a little bit wet. This is Hawaii Kai Drive and Kalanianaole Highway there. So a little wet after a brief shower just moved through. We'll see our rain showers pick up a bit later on tonight. Right now, though, it's not really looking too bad. So if you're out and about, looking pretty good, yeah, you can see a quick sprinkle, but not a huge amount of heavy rain out there. Should be nice for the next few hours here across Oahu. Elsewhere, we've got high pressure building in, and that's allowing for, behind our front, some gusty winds. So winds will be rather breezy. Trade winds strong, 20, maybe up to 25 miles per hour as we head into the weekend. So we'll have those trades around. They'll pick up some trade showers tonight and bring them on shore. So a couple of light windward showers at 7 p.m. and also at 9. And then as we head past 10, 11 o'clock, we'll see a few light showers try to make it into town, maybe even a leeward shower possible. We'll talk about your weekend forecast and beyond coming up a little bit later. Tom and Miko.
What the United States did yesterday should have been done long ago. A lot of lives would have been saved.
We cannot just close our eyes to what happened last night. Definitely there will be a revenge. There will be a harsh revenge.
A developing story today. Many people are on edge, worried America's on the brink of war after yesterday's U.S. airstrike in Iraq that killed Iran's top military general. President Donald Trump called Qasem Soleimani the top terrorist in the world and says he ordered the strike to save American lives.
And right now, Iran is promising retaliation, but the question is nobody knows where or how.
CNN's Meredith Wood shows us how domestic law enforcement agencies are preparing.
We are now potentially facing a threat that's different and greater than anything we have faced previously.
New York City is on high alert, along with many other major cities across America, after Iran vowed harsh revenge against the United States for killing its top military leader in a drone strike in Iraq. U.S. law enforcement and Homeland Security say there's no known credible threats on American soil at this time, but echo the sentiments of Portland, Oregon's police department, who said in a statement, officers routinely provide extra patrols with the intent to reassure community members during times of unrest around the world. This could be considered one of those times. Now the Department of Homeland Security is considering elevating the terrorism level threat. A senior DHS official says counter-terror experts are already on the lookout for retaliatory attacks and are warning Americans of cyber attack risks, among other possible threats. When it comes to attacks on Americans, President Trump is sending out a warning.
So let this be a warning to terrorists. If you value your own life, you will not threaten the lives of our citizens. Americans have many blessings, but perhaps the greatest among them is the blessing of being protected by the most exceptional and virtuous military on the face of God's earth.
Meredith Wood, KITV4 Island News.
And the U.S. State Department is warning Americans not to travel to Iraq and its nearby countries. And any U.S. citizens that are in the country right now, you should get out immediately. In a travel advisory, the department says Americans are at high risk for violence and kidnapping. Any Americans in Iraq or concerned about loved ones in the country can contact the State Department. It's also advising people to stay away from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad after Iranian-backed militia attacks have happened there the past few days. All the operations at the consulate have been suspended. And among those leaving the country, oil workers from the United States. The airstrike caused crude oil prices to jump nearly 4% today. Oil reserves in Iraq are considered the world's 5th largest. Major U.S. oil company ExxonMobil has operations in both Iraq and Iran.
News out of the Middle East stirred up anxieties about war. Tonight, demonstrators gathered along Ala Moana Boulevard to protest not just a possible war, but President Trump as well.
Donald Trump has got to go!
At least 40 people showed up waving signs and chanting. The decision to gather was made shortly after the news of Soleimani's death broke. Demonstrators say they felt compelled to participate.
The decision to kill a senior leader of the Iranian military is just something that everybody knows it's going to be horrific. I mean, the Iranians aren't going to take this sitting down.
There's planned demonstrations against war across the country tomorrow. And coming up in the next half hour of KITV4 Island News at 6, much more perspective on the airstrike in Baghdad. We'll have a live in-studio interview with military expert Jay Fidel of Think Tech Hawaii. Well, Representative Ed Case last week said the helicopter tour industry had its head in the sand.
Yeah, but not everybody agrees. Coming up on KITV4 Island News, one company here on Oahu challenged the congressman today, saying that's just not true.
And as the wildfires in Australia intensify, hundreds of exotic animals at the zoo are at risk. We'll be right back.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped. I'm free now.
I see a badge. I jumped in their arms and said, never let me go.
For the first time, all 3 women sharing their story.
2020, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Use the Spectrum TV app and watch live TV anywhere around Hawaii, even on-demand titles. Spectrum.
First, they laughed at even the idea of virtual reality. Yeah, right. Then they laughed when people started strapping little TV sets to their face. Yeah, right. No way those last. And soon we'll look back and say, yeah, right. Because the next generation of gaming, whether it's VR, AR, or whatever R comes next, will all be powered by Spectrum's future-ready network with the fastest internet speeds available. So, practice those yeah rights now. Like this. Yeah, right. Spectrum. Think forward.
You've probably heard a lot about CBD. At Medicaid 08, our products are backed by science and tested for purity by a third party, offering the highest quality in CBD products for pain management on Oahu.
I used to suffer from diabetes, but after taking the oil, I was totally taken off that medication. And I have good news, the product works.
Visit us at a location near you and stop hurting today.
Greetings, saints and friends. I'm Pastor Billy Holland Jr. of the Apostolic Faith Church, welcoming you every Sunday morning here in Hawaii and across the world to break in your weekend with faith, song, and worship with the Kingdom of God Crusade. We'll share an hour of music and song with the church band and the choir, along with a spirit-filled and spirit-directed sermon. We hope and pray you'll let us be a part of your Sunday activities. That's the Kingdom of God Crusade every Sunday morning.
Aloha, I'm Paula Akana. Join KITV4 Island News as we celebrate some very special wahine in Hawaii's remarkable women. From fighting for equality to excelling in careers that were once unheard of for women, they've all left their mark on our island communities and for some, the world. Each month, we'll share a different story of their sacrifices and achievements. Hawaii's remarkable women, only on KITV4 Island News at 6.
Hawaii's Remarkable Women is sponsored by Levitt, Yamane, and Soldner.
Watching KITV4 Island News.
Welcome back. After last week's deadly helicopter crash on Kauai, Hawaii U.S. Representative Ed Case again called the industry unsafe. A tour operator here on Oahu today begged to differ.
Yeah, KTV4's Nicole Tam joins us live in the newsroom tonight. And Nicole, this is the first company we know of that's standing up to the congressman, right?
Tom, Mika, it is. The CEO of Magnum Helicopters believes Case's comments are negatively affecting the entire industry. At least with his company, he says safety is the top priority.
I'm angry that an industry that just has its head in the sand.
Last week, Congressman Ed Case claimed the helicopter industry doesn't acknowledge concerns and risks. But Magnum wants to make it clear that taking a ride up in a chopper is safer than many everyday activities.
You're more likely to die from drowning in a car accident, riding a jet ski, crossing a street, riding a bicycle, than you are in a tour helicopter.
CEO Richard Schuman pointed out multiple Federal Aviation Administration rules and regulations his company follows on every flight.
I don't believe that the government needs to be more involved in what we do. I can tell you owner-operators are very serious about the safety of their organizations.
He says any incident is one too many.
Zero is what every helicopter operator, especially tour operators, are trying to do, is absolute zero.
But Schuman did acknowledge noise concerns in neighborhoods. He says it's an issue he's addressing.
We are working with each neighborhood to try to mitigate the traffic patterns and the noise that helicopters create going through the neighborhoods.
The Hawaii Helicopter Association is an organization created to keep operations responsible in Hawaii. It tells KITV4 they're working on new policies with the state and the FAA. Congressman Case sent KITV4 a statement in response to Magnum's comments today. He said if Hawaii's tour helicopter and small aircraft industry does not view 21 tragic deaths in 1 year alone as any safety concern, if it believes widespread public concern is not important, then we have a much, much larger problem. Reporting live, Nicole Tam, KITV4 Island News.
All right, thanks, Nicole. Well, families in Keiki gearing up to go back to school.
That's right, and that is not cheap. Coming up on KITV4 Island News, a program accepting applications to help families afford preschool.
And sunshine today, but some clouds this evening.
And a few showers as well, Pete.
Yeah, we're tracking some rainfall just offshore, and that'll start to move in onshore as we head through the night. So we'll track these trade wind showers. We've got details on your weekend forecast as well. Coming up, first off, we'll take you out to a cloudy Windward Mall cam. This is live from Kaneohe. You can see those clouds, and at times, some wet weather ahead. We'll have your forecast after the break.
Clearance sale on now. Up to 50% off at all Inspiration showrooms. Inspiration store-wide clearance sale is on now. Up to 50% off select floor models. Plus interest-free financing. Pigs flying. Get big savings. Inspiration, Honolulu Design Center, Kapolei Commons, and Pro Ridge Center.
You try hard. You eat right, mostly. You make time when you can. But sometimes life gets in the way, and that stubborn fat just won't go away. Cool Sculpting takes you further. A non-surgical treatment that targets, freezes, and eliminates treated fat cells for good. Discuss Cool Sculpting with your doctor. Some common side effects include temporary numbness, discomfort, and swelling. Don't imagine results. See them. Cool Sculpting. Take yourself further. Save $100 on your Cool Sculpting treatment. Text RESOLUTION to 65190 to learn more.
Imagine a good morning spent with friends. What's better than that?
Imagine starting the day off with everything you need. Your first news, weather, and traffic when you want it.
Imagine knowing what's coming next in the day ahead. Well, I get to live this each morning together with you. Imagine that. And that's what makes it such a good morning, America.
And here in Hawaii, the day starts bright because we share them with you on KITV4 Island News. Good morning, Hawaii.
Yeah, being in this position that we're in, I know we're a fresh team, and we definitely don't take that for granted. You know, you have to put in the work behind the scenes, whether it's making the calls, going out into the community, and actually getting those interviews and hearing those people's stories.
But I'm talking about our dedication, our willingness to get out there, walk the communities, talk to individuals.
And that's really what gets me out of bed every day, is just being able to be in this position where we can help bring other people's stories to light like they deserve.
We are Hawaii. Hawaii is our home.
Clearance sale going on now. Extreme savings on select floor models and new items. Doorbuster deals so low, it only happens when pigs fly. Inspiration, Honolulu Design Center, Kapolei Commons, and Pro Ridge Center.
Great shots. Sony Open at Wildfires. Sony Open. Great shots at Wildfires. PGA Tour pros shoot it out at Wildfires. Sony Open in Hawaii. Great shots and more. A Friends of Hawaii Charities production. Tickets SonyOpenInHawaii.com.
Well, noon tonight, new images tonight of the devastating wildfires burning across Australia, straining both residents and tourists. As that blaze intensifies, naval and air rescue operations were launched along the country's southeast coast, and residents in towns in the path of those fires are being urged to evacuate.
Some of the people who already evacuated are living on campgrounds, and conditions are expected to get worse over the weekend, with forecasters predicting hot, dry, and windy weather. And the fires also killed millions of animals, but staff at Mogo Zoo in New South Wales weren't about to let their animals become victims.
Yeah, they stayed behind and battled those flames for about 2 to 3 hours themselves. Some of the staffers to animals like the monkeys and pandas took them home with them.
We watched the fire just roaring up over the hill, virtually running parallel with the road, and just that colour change, and when it went from red to dark red and then to black, that's when we knew we were really in the thick of it.
Yeah, just devastating to see those videos there. And according to the Washington Post, as of Wednesday, all of the roughly 200 animals at the zoo are safe.
Despite everything that's going on there, that is some really good news.
Definitely.
Well, here at home, some rain, clouds, and breezy conditions.
Yeah, the question is, will it stick around through to the weekend? For more on that, let's head to meteorologist Pete Caggiano for a check of our weather. How's it looking this weekend?
We are looking at a few trade showers, but I think overall it's not a bad weekend. Mainly the rain activity will happen at morning and at nighttime with some sunshine in between. So our trade wind showers becoming a little bit more active. A live shot from our King Street studio cam. As we look at the mountains, you can see some light rain trying to roll in there. Here in town, though, so far looking pretty good. 77 degrees. Our temperatures, east winds coming in at 8, and not a whole lot of rain on the radar. Had some rain earlier into Hawaii Kai. That has fallen apart, but we do have some scattered showers offshore, and we're expecting some of that rain to begin to build back in as we head past 7 o'clock. So some scattered showers heading for the windward side. Waimanalo will see some rain as we head past 7:30, and we'll start to see some of these light showers try to make it into town as well later tonight. That'll likely happen, though, after 9, 10 o'clock. So some trade showers out there into Maui County, seeing some light showers. Parts of Molokai seeing some light rain. Over towards Maui, some light showers. Big Island, not as much. And then for Kauai, not picking up as much activity. So our frontal boundary that moved in earlier today brought some gusty winds. Will continue to bring some gusty winds. This is the front. It's become stationary. It's offshore of the Big Island now, so it's moved on through. Still some scattered showers overnight into the morning hours. Afternoon, we'll call it partly cloudy, so still some rain in the morning. As you can see, this is 9 a.m. on Saturday. Heading into the afternoon, we see most of those showers fall apart. Sunshine in the afternoon, but breezy winds, and because of those winds, surf is up on east shores, but it's a wind swell, so it's a little choppy. 5 to 7 footers there. Relatively flat on south shores, so not much on the south shores, and north shores still a little bit of leftover swell, 6 to 10 there, 3 to 6 for west shores. Into tonight, 71 degrees, partly cloudy, some scattered rains, late breezy and cool weather. We'll get up to 82 tomorrow. We'll still have some clouds and a few passing trade showers in the morning. Afternoon, we'll call it partly cloudy and breezy weather. East winds 15 to 24. The Big Island, Maui County 82 into central Maui as we head over towards west Oahu. 66, the low tonight in Kapolei. We'll get up to 81 there on the west side for tomorrow afternoon, and upper 70s for the most part across Kauai with those morning scattered rain showers. Into our Sunday, looking at a little less coverage of rain, maybe a shower or two in the morning, but still looking pretty good. Sunday afternoon will be breezy with highs in the lower 80s, and then winds really start to pick up as we head into our upcoming week, Tuesday into Wednesday. Winds 20 to 30 miles per hour, so a breezy next 8 days.
Yeah, at least rain clearing out after a while.
Yeah, not looking too bad. A couple showers overnight in the morning, but overall, not a bad weekend.
All right, thanks, Pete. Well, speaking of things that collect rain, we're digging deeper into the Halema'uma'u crater.
That's right. Coming up on KITV 4 Island News, we'll show you a new 3D rendering created by scientists. We'll be right back.
I see a badge. I jumped in their arms and said, never let me go.
For the first time, all 3 women sharing their story.
2020, tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Every wireless carrier claims they can save you money, but Spectrum Mobile's online savings calculator tells you exactly how much your family can save by switching.
But what if one person uses a ton of data because they have an exciting and vibrant life, and the other person is you?
Doesn't matter. Spectrum Mobile lets you mix and match plans to get the most savings across your entire family.
So what you're saying is, we're family.
Not even close.
Huh.
To see how much you can save, go to spectrummobile.com/save.
I'm gonna start planning our family vacation anyhow.
Aloha and welcome aboard. With Hawaiian Airlines, you feel at home on every flight. We treat you like family, so of course, we serve you a complimentary meal. We make sure you're comfortable. The spirit of Hawaii is in everything we do. Hawaii flies with us.
Never stop chasing the story. Be committed to being there.
We're glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
On the scene wherever the story may be.
You could hear the gunfire just around this wall.
Always reaching higher together.
We are very appreciative of partnerships like with KITV.
KITV 4 Island News at 6 and 10. And World News Tonight with David Muir. Complete coverage of the islands and the world.
The other teams don't have what we have. I'm talking about our dedication, our willingness to get out there, walk the communities, talk to individuals.
You have to put in the work behind the scenes, whether it's making the calls, going out into the community, and actually hearing those people's stories.
We are Hawaii. Hawaii is our home.
We begin with breaking news of a shooting at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. The cost of electricity on the Big Island could be dropping in the future.
Yeah, Hawaiian Electric Company and Puna Geothermal Venture reached a new agreement to provide renewable energy. According to HECO, prices could decrease by more than $7 a month starting in 2022 and up to $13 by 2023. PGV was cut off by lava during the eruption of Kilauea volcano in 2018, but is expected to be fully operational sometime again this year. Now, that agreement still needs approval by the State Public Utilities Commission.
New at 6 o'clock, after a new $31 million building was completed last month, state lawmakers today grilled leadership of the Daniel K. Inouye College of Pharmacy at the University of Hawaii at Hilo, asking if the funds were worth it. The two-story facility is the program's first dedicated building since it started in 2006. But at the time the money was requested in the early 2000s, there was high demand for pharmacy and pharmacist programs across the country. Numbers have dropped and the building's capable of housing 70 students, but at last count, only 50 are enrolled.
Our mannequin simulation labs can only hold 5 students at a time. Our compounding lab can only hold 30 students at a time. And so, you know, those are the skill sets that need to be developed regardless of size.
We're not here to micromanage your facilities and how. We're just here to say, are we sizing it correctly? Are we projecting correctly? Are we looking at the needs of a student in the future? And are we doing it for the community? Because if our job's here, if we're not placing enough pharmacists here in Hawaii for our people, and they got to go to the mainland to get a job, then, you know, that's not good either.
The program has graduated 744 Doctor of Pharmacy students and 5 Doctor of Philosophy students since admitting its first class in 2007.
All right, well, applications are now being accepted for the state-sponsored Preschool Open Doors program. It provides subsidies to families with low or moderate income who might not be able to send their child to preschool. The Hawaii Department of Health says the program currently serves 1,300 students statewide. Priority is given to children who have special needs or those considered to be at risk. Now, you can find all the eligibility requirements and the information on how to apply. That's all on our website for you at kitv.com.
New tonight, following the eruption in 2018, scientists on the Big Island continue to keep a close eye on Kilauea volcano. Last month, this 3D model created by scientists using aerial photos of the caldera were released. Now, if you look closely, you can see the water pond in the deepest portion of Halima'uma'u crater. To give you a better idea of just how big the crater is, the pond is 650 feet long and about 600 feet below the caldera rim.
All right, and check out this time-lapse video that was taken over the course of just 2 hours on that water pond. You can see the water moving right there in the orange hue. The water level continues to rise. Now, the temperature of that water is still scalding hot.
Pretty amazing videos there.
Just the magic of science. Getting to see that close-up look now. Really cool.
Incredible. Well, stay with us. More KITV4 Island News at 6 o'clock starts right now.
Now, from Honolulu, for all of Hawaii, this is KITV4 Island News.
The Honolulu Police Department says it received fewer complaints about New Year's fireworks this year than it did last year.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, here's our top 4 stories on KITV4 Island News at 6 tonight. Between December 1st of 2019 and January 2nd of 2020, of course, including New Year's Eve, when we saw that big display, there were more than 2,000 fireworks-related 911 calls. That's about 300 fewer calls compared to the same time the previous year, but HPD issued 20 more citations this year for a total of 96. Now, 3 people were also arrested. That's the same as we saw the year before.
3 mental health professionals ruled Ku'uipo Nihipali is fit to stand trial. She's accused of abusing and ultimately killing 6-year-old Mazing Kaniela Nihipali Moniz on Halloween Day in 2018. Her trial is expected to start in May.
Well, a hiker who fell off a cliff in Bamboo Forest yesterday was just rescued this morning. The 27-year-old woman from San Francisco fell 25 feet, injuring her left hip, her arm, and her lower back, leaving her unable to walk. She was airlifted out along with 2 other hikers.
Hawaii U.S. Representative Ed Case again calling for stricter restrictions on the tour helicopter industry after last week's deadly helicopter crash on Kauai. But today, the CEO of Magnum Helicopter said the industry is already well regulated. He also added that safety is a top priority.
Soleimani made the death of innocent people his sick passion, contributing to terrorist plots as far away as New Delhi and London. Today, we remember and honor the victims of Soleimani's many atrocities, and we take comfort in knowing that his reign of terror is over.
President Donald Trump today defended his decision to carry out an airstrike in Iraq, killing Iran's top military general, and Iran is now vowing revenge.
And less than 24 hours after last night's deadly attack, Iraqi officials reported another deadly airstrike. An American official denied the U.S. was behind that one.
But last night's attack killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. minutes after he landed at the Baghdad International Airport. Iran's supreme leader today called Soleimani a martyr and vowed harsh retaliation. Meanwhile, the president said Soleimani was responsible for killing hundreds of Americans and was actively plotting to kill more. Now, while President Trump is insisting he's not seeking war or regime change, he is warning the Iranian regime tonight that their aggression must end now. Now, some people here in Hawaii are concerned about the situation in the Middle East. At a place significant in a past war, many people at Pearl Harbor today paid their respects and saying the idea of another war hits close to home.
If anything, they threw a little bit of a stick and we hit them with a bomb, so it's probably not the right thing to do.
Jay Orban from New York doesn't take war lightly, living through 9/11 and having a dad who was deployed overseas.
The president discussed today that, there were plans to attack more Americans, and as a family member of former servicemen, it seemed that there was reason for it, but, who really knows?
This mom from California had a son in Afghanistan.
It was a scary time. I bet. Scary, scary time.
Now she says this is deja vu.
And it was ridiculous. I mean, we shouldn't have been over there. It was a Bush thing.
Some worry this is becoming a Trump thing.
I think that's sort of a microcosm of the administration as a whole, just a lot of sort of split-second decisions that maybe weren't thought of as much as they could have been.
Now, as more than 3,000 troops are being sent to the Middle East, many hoping things don't escalate.
And it could cost a real lot of lives and cause a lot of damage. So let's hope it doesn't go that way.
Hawaii has a large military population. No word yet whether any troops from the Aloha State are among those being deployed.
And there's certainly a lot of questions and a lot of concerns. Joining us live in studio now to put this all into perspective and give us a better idea of what it all means is Jay Fido. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Mika. Hi, Tom.
Yeah, thanks for being here. He's a member of the former member of the Coast Guard, also a former military judge. So, Jay, let's jump right in here. I mean, you heard from people right here in Hawaii saying that there are some concerns that this was an impulsive move from Trump. Of course, had no approval from Congress as well. So, and Iraq's prime minister also condemning this as a breach of their sovereignty. So the big question is, did the U.S. actually violate international law here?
Well, I think it violated the sovereignty of Iraq to start with. And the government of Iraq has made that clear, how they feel about it. And it has violated the United States Constitution. No big surprise, because this president violates the United States Constitution every day. And also the War Powers Resolution, which requires the president to talk to Congress. He didn't talk to Congress. He talked to Lindsey Graham the day before. That was talking to Congress. He didn't talk to the Gang of Eight, either before or after, and Nancy Pelosi has made that clear. That is a violation of law. In fact, some people feel that there are 2 articles of impeachment. There should be a 3rd one. The matter should be referred back to the House for further proceedings on what has happened here. It's a mess. Huge mistakes.
And with the elections coming up and President Trump running for a 2nd term, do you think this could be perceived in any way as some sort of distraction from his troubles over impeachment?
Well, I think, the whole thing is to try to distract us perhaps from impeachment. But in fact, I think it's going to hurt his chances. I think the middle is who we care about. And the middle, the uncommitted perhaps, they are going to see this as a very negative experience for him, for his government, for our government, and for our country, and for our allies.
Certainly a lot of people are really scared. We saw World War III trending on social media, and we do know that there are 3,000 troops being added to the Middle East, of course, a lot in the Middle East already. But the big question is, Iran has already said they're vowing revenge. So could that actually happen, and what does that mean for the United States?
Oh, well, there will be revenge. I mean, I don't think you can talk to anybody who doesn't tell you there's going to be revenge, there's going to be retaliation, it's going to be asymmetrical at their time and place. We could wait a few days or a few weeks, but we know it's coming. And the question is whether it comes in the Middle East, which is a softer target for them, against U.S. troops, or against the diplomatic corps, or against the United States at home. So this is a great risk for us, and we are at war. This is why there should have been a declaration of war, and this should now be congressional hearings as to what happened here and why this decision was made.
And bringing it back here to Hawaii, of course, we have a big military presence here, especially here on Oahu. Do you think we could be affected, and how so? And is there any word yet on if any troops will be deployed?
Well, the last I heard was 3,500 have been deployed already, the 82nd Airborne, as I recall. So that's happening. And there will be more. And Mr. Trump is escalating visibly. He says he doesn't want war, but he's escalating for war. I think the de facto condition is we are at war. Whether it could affect Hawaii, certainly it could. We have a lot of military here. They are targets. We are an iconic place. Remember Pearl Harbor. We could be affected just as any other place in the country, and certainly in Europe and in the Middle East. You know, the Middle East is going to be more violent than it has been in our lifetimes. And that violence has a way of spreading to other places, including Europe and the homeland.
Wow, so the strong words, we are at war. All right, well, thanks, Jay. We appreciate your context on that. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mika.
Well, today, Senator Mazie Hirono expressed her views on Twitter. She called Soleimani reprehensible, but also said an airstrike escalates tensions in the region and increases the potential for violence. Meanwhile, Senator Brian Schatz is critical of the airstrike. He tweeted that now is a time for skepticism, oversight, and questioning the actions of the Trump administration.
All right, we'll have more news and weather coming up for you after the break.
KITV4 Island News is brought to you by Zippy's.
Dinner?
Whoa.
Zippy's. Can I get the fried chicken, all rice?
Zip pack, please.
The Korean fried chicken actually sounds way better.
You just changed your mind.
I have free will.
Me too. Chili mocha, mom. Terry beef bun. With fries. You got that?
Got it. Ordered.
Whoa. The Zippy's app makes dinner faster and easier than ever. It's back. Get 2 Zippy's favorites in 1. Try our spaghetti and chicken mixed plate today.
You know when you wow, this is even better. I love this.
Greetings, saints and friends. I'm Pastor Billy Hahn Jr. of the Apostolic Faith Church, welcoming you every Sunday morning here in Hawaii and across the world to break in your weekend with faith, song, and worship with the Kingdom of God Crusade. We'll share an hour of music and song with the church band and the choir, along with a spirit-filled and spirit-directed sermon. We hope and pray you'll let us be a part of your Sunday activities. That's the Kingdom of God Crusade every Sunday morning.
Aloha, I'm Paula Akana. Join KITV4 Island News as we celebrate some very special wahine in Hawaii's remarkable women. From fighting for equality to excelling in careers that were once unheard of for women, they've all left their mark on our island communities and for some, the world. Each month, we'll share a different story of their sacrifices and achievements. Hawaii's remarkable women, only on KITV4 Island News at 6.
Hawaii's Remarkable Women is sponsored by Levitt, Yamane, and Soldner.
Imagine a good morning spent with friends. What's better than that?
Imagine starting the day off with everything you need. Your first news, weather, and traffic when you want it.
Imagine knowing what's coming next in the day ahead. Well, I get to live this each morning together with you. Imagine that. And that's what makes it such a good morning, America.
And here in Hawaii, the day starts bright because we share them with you on KITV4 Island News. Good morning, Hawaii.
Yeah, being in this position that we're in, I know we're a fresh team, and we definitely don't take that for granted. You know, you have to put in the work behind the scenes, whether it's making the calls, going out into the community, and actually getting those interviews and hearing those people's stories.
But I'm talking about our dedication, our willingness to get out there, walk the communities, talk to individuals.
And that's really what gets me out of bed every day, is just being able to be in this position where we can help bring other people's stories to light like they deserve.
We are Hawaii. Hawaii is our home.
You're watching KITV4 Island News.
Welcome back. Time now 6:40. Police tonight released new information about 2 siblings from Idaho reported missing for months. Their mother, as ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports, is believed to be hiding critical information.
Idaho police, desperately searching for 2 children missing for several months, say they believe they're in danger and that their mother is withholding crucial information.
This has been so confusing and so hard.
Relatives baffled since 17-year-old Tylee Ryan and her 7-year-old brother Joshua J.J. Vallow were last seen in September. Police conducted a welfare check in November and say they believe the children's mother, Lori Vallow, and her husband lied, telling them that J.J., who's adopted and has special needs, was staying with a friend in Arizona, and telling friends Tylee had died a year ago. A day later, police say Lori and her husband Chad Daybell left the state. Authorities now looking into the deaths of the couple's former spouses, even exhuming the body of Daybell's first wife and focusing on finding the children. Investigators revealing they have information indicating Lori knows either the location of the children or what has happened to them, and that despite having this knowledge, she has refused to work with law enforcement to help us resolve this matter. Son Colby says his mother hasn't told him anything.
I'm just in the dark as anybody else, and that's a really hard position to be in when those are your siblings. I have absolutely no idea where they are. I can't imagine. I just hope, and what I've thought and prayed for and everything, is that everybody's safe.
Vallow and Daybell's attorney issued a statement saying they are both loving parents and spouses, saying they look forward to, quote, addressing the allegations once they move past speculation and rumors. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, a father protecting his children put on a gruesome display in Virginia recently. On December 29th, police report 60-year-old Mark Stanley, a visitor from North Carolina, was severely beaten by a dad who found him nude, waist down, in the bedroom of his 2- and 3-year-old children. When police arrived, Stanley's face was beaten, and that father was chasing him with a gun. The kids were taken to the hospital for evaluation. Dad was not arrested.
The family of a disabled woman who gave birth at Hacienda Healthcare in Arizona filed a lawsuit against the long-term care facility and the state. The suit alleges she was repeatedly sexually assaulted and staff neglected the family's request she be cared for by only women. A male nurse at the facility was arrested and charged for sexual assault and vulnerable adult abuse.
Well, the man allegedly caught on surveillance video attacking his girlfriend in Las Vegas on New Year's Day made his first appearance in court today. 23-year-old Darnell Rogers is charged with kidnapping and domestic battery. According to the arrest report, what started off as an argument in the car turned violent. Rogers is behind bars. His bail is set at $50,000. He's due back again in court next week.
A judge in San Diego awarded $12.7 million today to a group of 22 women claiming they were coerced into filming pornography. The ladies filed suit against the website Girls Do Porn, accusing the owners and an actor of deception by breaking promises that their videos would never be posted online. It did go public on their website as well as many free services. The owners of the company and 2 employees were charged with sex trafficking in federal court.
Well, a group of Delta Airlines employees are suing the company that makes their uniforms. That lawsuit, filed by more than 500 employees, claims the uniforms that were made by Land's End caused allergic reactions. It says the employees are subject to going to unreasonable risks of physical harm. Those uniforms came out in 2016, and employees have been required to wear them since May of 2018. Delta says it has tested all of its uniforms and claims that they are safe. Well, after last year's General Motors strike, the company says it sold 25% less vehicles to dealerships in the last quarter of 2019. That caused a loss of about $2.9 billion in profit. The 40-day strike ran from mid-September to October 25th. Production at U.S. factories stopped during that time as workers demanded better pay and benefits. Well, a car accident left a North Carolina man with a traumatic brain injury.
That's right. Coming up on KITV4 Island News, we'll tell you the special new talent he gained from it. We'll be right back.
Never stop chasing the story. Be committed to being there.
We're glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
On the scene wherever the story may be.
You could hear the gunfire just around this wall.
Always reaching higher together.
We are very appreciative of partnerships like with KITV.
KITV4 Island News at 6 and 10. And World News Tonight with David Muir. Complete coverage of the islands and the world.
In business, success is in the details. It's why Dietrich is the preferred insurer for many of Hawaii's successful retailers, popular hotels, and celebrated restaurants. At Dietrich, we know the smallest details matter. That's why we're just as meticulous about protecting local businesses as we are about protecting people's cars. Call Dietrich or your insurance agent.
We begin with breaking news of a shooting at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard.
Greetings, saints and friends. I'm Pastor Billy Hahn Jr. of the Apostolic Faith Church, welcoming you every Sunday morning here in Hawaii and across the world to break in your weekend with faith, song, and worship with the Kingdom of God Crusade. We'll share an hour of music and song with the church band and the choir, along with a spirit-filled and spirit-directed sermon. We hope and pray you'll let us be a part of your Sunday activities. That's the Kingdom of God Crusade every Sunday morning.
I'm about to embark on the most amazing flight of my life.
ABC Monday. Peter's journey takes flight.
To new beginnings!
But this season, buckle up.
The claws are definitely coming out.
You need to make this right. I have been intimate. I can't lie to you about that.
I'm so done!
And expect turbulence.
I know there's still something there, and I would do anything for it.
What would you say if I had asked you to come be part of that house?
The new season of The Bachelor premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
You're watching KITV4 Island News.
A warning from police in Maine abbreviating the year 2020 to just 20 could be a costly mistake, leaving you vulnerable to fraud. It's because documents or checks with 20 make it easy for scammers to change the date by altering your 20 to 2019. That could leave you open to accusations like being late for payments. Police recommend writing out 2020.
Good advice there. Never thought of that. All right, well, 2019 was a big year for Hollywood, raking in about $41 billion worldwide and more than $11 billion in the U.S. Most of that thanks to Disney coming out with blockbusters like Avengers Endgame, The Lion King, and Frozen 2, but it wasn't as big as the year before. 2018 saw about 4% more in box office revenue. Because a lot of the good ones are going to Netflix now, streaming, so not as many people go to the theaters, I think.
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, a car accident left a North Carolina man with a traumatic brain injury and a new talent.
Yeah, CNN's Alex Guarino explains he's now one of the only a few people in the world with his condition.
You can't see trauma.
But you can see light. For Scott Mell, that light has come in the form of painting.
I was going to tell my story, to bring light to what it's like to be somebody who's depressed or has anxiety, that has gone through trauma, that's suffering, and dealing with losing parts of who they are.
The strokes of a paint-covered brush on canvas can create something beautiful, but one move can alter a painting forever. The same can be said about life.
I'm 42 years old. I restarted at 38.
4 years ago, Mel was stopped at an intersection when a driver hit him at 70 miles per hour. He didn't know at the time, but he suffered a traumatic brain injury. 4 months later, he woke up feeling lost.
When I say I was completely estranged to my life, I felt like I was in somebody else's life and trapped.
The former car salesman says he used to focus on himself, success, and material things. Suddenly, he questioned every decision he ever made and fell into a deep depression.
I felt like I was suffocating every day.
Today, he paints a stunning portrait of a woman underwater, suffocating. But before the accident, he had no artistic ability at all. Months later, at a craft store with his kids, he had a compelling urge to paint.
It was the first time in 4 months that I actually saw something that I could relate to that was mine, that I felt like was me.
Scott later learned he had atypical acquired savant syndrome, known in the medical community as an extraordinary condition where an individual displays remarkable abilities they did not have before a brain injury.
I'm one of 33 known cases in the world.
Like a painting in progress, Scott is still working to create his new life, hoping to help others who feel lost find beauty along the way.
I started over at 38 with nothing and had to figure out who I was and what I was going to do and how I was going to get there.
Just an incredible story, and his paintings are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Glad to see that he's doing okay and has that new talent.
Definitely.
And again, that was CNN's Alex Guarino reporting. Coming up on KITV4 Island News at 10 o'clock tonight, his complaint against Keith Kaneshiro was shut down at the state level.
Yeah, well, now the Hawaii businessman looking to impeach Honolulu's top prosecutor is taking his case to federal court.
Plus, pollution in Nu'uanu Stream, who the Department of Health says is to blame.
And when we come back, we'll have a last check of your weather.
You're watching KITV4 Island News. We'll be right back.
When I first got on that field, I couldn't believe it. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually here. It was New York, New York. I mean, it was amazing. Those things you can never forget. I've been coaching since I retired. You know, a lot of these student athletes, they have a lot of talent. If you coach them up and give them, you know, all that confidence, they'll succeed. I think if the kids stay focused here in Hawaii, you know, their dreams can really come true.
This is the Jones family.
We have a good deal on our wireless plan.
Are you sure? Spectrum Mobile can do better. How many lines do you have? 4. And how much data do you use?
Graham and I email and text, but these two share and stream tons of videos.
And how much are you paying per month? Don't forget those added taxes and fees and surcharges.
Oh, then $220.
Spectrum Mobile lets you customize your plans. You and Grandma can be in our Buy the Gig plan with shareable data, and your wife and daughter can be in our unlimited data plan. All for $118 per month with no taxes and fees. Spectrum Mobile has the best data plans for your family. All plans include unlimited talk and text with no contracts. See? I proved you could save within minutes. Now it's your turn. Grab your bill and see how much you can save. Visit spectrummobile.com/usave to calculate your savings in 3 easy steps. Or call us at 643-2030 and we'll do it for you.
Aloha, I'm Paula Akana. Join KITV4 Island News as we celebrate some very special wahine in Hawaii's remarkable women. From fighting for equality to excelling in careers that were once unheard of for women, they've all left their mark on our island communities and for some, the world. Each month, we'll share a different story of their sacrifices and achievements. Hawaii's remarkable women, only on KITV4 Island News at 6.
Hawaii's Remarkable Women is sponsored by Levitt, Yamane, and Soldner.
Imagine a good morning spent with friends. What's better than that?
Imagine starting the day off with everything you need. Your first news, weather, and traffic when you want it.
Imagine knowing what's coming next in the day ahead. Well, I get to live this each morning together with you. Imagine that. And that's what makes it such a good morning, America.
And here in Hawaii, the day starts bright because we share them with you on KITV4 Island News. Good morning, Hawaii.
Aloha, I'm Davey D from Good Morning Hawaii with your traffic closures for the weekend. Lots of rail work. That's what's going to be happening. So let's start on Kamehameha Highway between Aloha Stadium and Sam's Club. Eastbound may be detoured to Koala Street, and then the right westbound lane closed between Lipoa Place and Palimomi. And the lanes closed on the eastbound Kamehameha Highway Center Drive and the ramp to H1 Nimitz Highway. That's what's happening over there on Kamehameha Nimitz. Lots of work there too. Right lane closed on eastbound Nimitz Highway between Elliott Street and A'olele, and the right lane closed on the eastbound Nimitz Highway in the vicinity of Valkenburg Street. That starts up on Sunday. They'll have it wrapped up by Monday. One more rail closure. Lanes closed on the eastbound Nimitz Highway, Kamehameha Highway on-ramp to the H1 Viaduct on-ramp, and then the lane closed in both directions, Nimitz Highway between Richard Street and Ava Street. And again, starting up on Sunday, they'll have it wrapped up on Monday. Finally, the Pali open 24/7. All right. I know that was a lot to digest. If you want to get the very latest, you can also visit our website at kitv.com.
Thanks, Davey. We'll go ahead and take a look outside, and a beautiful day. We'll take you out actually to the west side. Barbers Point looking good today. Waves down a bit, but still some waves out there on the west side. Thanks, Lucy Wong, for sending this pic in. And send your pics to pics@kitv.com. We've got a couple of light showers right now for windward sections. We're going to be watching as some of this light rain eventually tries to make it into town, but really not expecting a whole lot in the early evening. So maybe a light sprinkle in the early evening. The better chance of rain comes after 10-11 p.m. That's when we'll start to see these trade showers pick up in intensity and frequency. You can see some scattered rain just offshore. Elsewhere, just a few passing light trade showers into our weekend. Best chance of rain will be in the morning and at nighttime, especially windward and Malco locations. But late morning into the afternoon, we should see plenty of sunshine. And I think overall, a drier weekend than what we saw earlier this morning, and overall a nice weekend. Will be breezy as those winds really start to kind of pick on up. So breezy winds, couple of morning showers, afternoon though. Looking at sunshine for Saturday. Sunday, a couple of scattered hit and miss showers in the morning, but for the most part, relatively dry in the afternoon. We'll keep those winds around, and in fact, our winds going to get even breezier. So this is going to be a long stretch of windy conditions, and that should allow for east shores to get a little rough. So we're going to have some winds kind of generating a east swell as we move through the end of the weekend.
All right, thanks, Pete. Getting ready for all those breezy trades.
Yes. Yep.
Well, coming or going, that's the question. On Monday, former St. Louis Crusader, now Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is announcing whether or not he's returning to school or entering the NFL draft. He suffered a dislocated right hip against Mississippi State in November and missed the rest of this season. Of course, a lot of people are going to be waiting for that. And checking his social media pages.
I know
as well.
a lot of people, and it's always hit or miss. It's like, do you strike when the iron's hot, or do you chance it later on? But I think if he's so talented, he can't go wrong either way.
I'll have to wait and see. Well, thanks so much for being a part of Hawaii's only hour-long 6 p.m. newscast. You can stay connected by liking us on Facebook and by following us on Twitter.
You can also find KITV4 Island News on Roku, or you can download our app. Meanwhile, we'll see you back here tonight at 10.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Experience the bold, crispy, mouth-watering flavors Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen is serving up in each and every bite, providing closed captioning for KITV4 Island News.
Dinner?
Whoa.
Zippies. Can I get the fried chicken, all rice?
Zip pack, please.
The Korean fried chicken actually sounds way better.
You just changed your mind.
I have free will.
Me too. Chili mocha, mom.
Terry beef bun. With fries. You got that?
Got it. Ordered.
Whoa. The Zippies app makes dinner faster and easier than ever. It's back. Get 2 Zippies favorites in 1. Try our spaghetti and chicken mixed plate today.
You know when you wow, this is even better. I love this.
Yeah, being in this position that we're in, I know we're a fresh team, and we definitely don't take that for granted. You know, you have to put in the work behind the scenes, whether it's making the calls, going out into the community and actually getting those interviews and hearing those people's stories.
But I'm talking about our dedication, our willingness to get out there, walk the communities, talk to individuals.
And that's really what gets me out of bed every day, is just being able to be in this position where we can help bring other people's stories to light like they deserve.
We are Hawaii. Hawaii is our home.
Never stop chasing the story. Be committed to being there.
We're glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
On the scene wherever the story may be.
You could hear the gunfire just around this wall.
Always reaching higher together.
We are very appreciative of partnerships like with KITV.
KITV4 Island News at 6 and 10. And World News Tonight with David Muir. Complete coverage of the islands and the world.
We begin with breaking news of a shooting at the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard.